Alright my friends, so as you can see we have the Gacha revenue chart here which we are going to talk about, and I would love to hear your opinion about it in the comments section below. Now before we start, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Impact 3rd and Honkai Star Rail, and without any further ado, let's just get started. So as you can see here, there are actually 5 different games that I want to talk about, and the first one is Honkai Impact 3rd. As you can see, Honkai Impact 3rd went up with 5 ranks, which is very good. It's really nice to see the game making that much amount of money, and as you can see, it went from $2.24 million to $3.18 million, which means that it nearly actually took half of its revenue and added it to its previous month revenue, which is just ridiculous. This is a ridiculous number actually, and keep in mind, soon the collab with Honkai Star Rail is coming, and once it's coming, this number might skyrocket actually. We will see, but for now, this is a very good amount. Honkai Impact 3rd, the game that is a dead game according to some people, made actually 3.18 million. The game that has only 5,000 players made $3.18 million, and it makes on basically regular schedule 2 millions at minimum per month, which is just a ridiculous amount, and it is actually more than what 90% of the entire gacha market makes actually. So yeah, a dead game, of course. Of course. Now the second game that I wanted to talk about is actually Wuthering Waves. As you can see here, Wuthering Waves went 5 ranks down. I don't know how did they manage to make it this perfect, but Honkai Impact 3rd went up with 5 ranks. Wuthering Waves went down with 5 ranks. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Either way, it went from $13.5 million to $6.75 million. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about these two games specifically is the ridiculousness in their revenue. Wuthering Waves was supposed to be by the same people actually who said that Honkai Impact 3rd is a dead game, just so that you have that perspective. The same people who said that Honkai Impact 3rd is a dead game said that Wuthering Waves is going to be a competition for Genshin Impact. Wuthering Waves might kill Genshin Impact. Wuthering Waves is going to make a lot of money, and Hoyoverse isn't going to be the only company that is making a lot of money. Yeah, of course. This is how much it made. Now, let's actually talk about it. So, Honkai Impact 3rd, which is supposedly a dead game, and it has only 5,000 players, made $3.18 million, and it makes on regular basis basically $2 million. So if you don't want to count the $3.18 million, count $2 million, okay? The Wuthering Waves, the Genshin killer, the absolute greatest game in the entire universe, with the best gameplay, with the absolute best animations, with the great music. This game made basically only double of what Honkai Impact 3rd made. With its millions and millions of players, only 5,000 players in Honkai Impact 3rd made half of what actually Wuthering Waves made with millions and millions of players. Just let that sink in. Just let that sink in. This is ridiculous. And by the way, if you actually count the cost of Wuthering Waves and the cost of Honkai Impact 3rd, this difference might actually be even lower. Honkai Impact 3rd maybe made more than just half of what Wuthering Waves made if we are going to count the cost as well, because there is no way Honkai Impact 3rd would cost more than what Wuthering Waves is costing basically. because Wuthering Waves is an open world with massive world, while Honkai Impact 3rd, yes, it has open worlds, but these open worlds are still actually not as big and as massive as these open worlds, and it's not actually completely open world. It's just basically certain events or certain places that has open world. So I don't think that the cost of Honkai Impact 3rd is actually close to Wuthering Waves. So that's why I believe that this might be even less actually of a difference, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Now let's move to the third game. The third game is basically Zenless Zone Zero. As you can see, Zenless Zone Zero went basically up with one rank, which is really cool to see. It went from 32.5 to 34.5, so $2 million difference, which is really cool. It's sadly not as high as I would have expected it to do, but it's still actually an increasing, which is really good. However, in my opinion, and I know my opinion isn't popular, and these basically charts are more than enough to show that, but in my opinion, Honkai Impact 3rd has a better gameplay than Zenless Zone Zero. That's just my opinion. I know most of people don't agree with me, and these numbers are more than enough to show that they don't agree with me, but in my opinion, Honkai Impact 3rd has a better gameplay than Zenless Zone Zero. A better story, better animations, better everything. The only thing that is basically, or actually there are two things that are keeping Honkai Impact 3rd down here. One is the fact that it is an extremely old game, like 7 years. No, actually now it is 8 years. 8 years old. Nobody wants to jump on an 8 years old game, and that's why it's not making that much of money. And then the other one is the fact that literally every single character in it that is playable is a lesbian. And nobody wants to play a game that is just full of lesbians. So these two problems are actually keeping players from trying to play Honkai Impact 3rd, and I think that this is actually the biggest problem, that it is hurting it, and that's why it's not making as much as Zenless Zone Zero. But aside from that, either way, as long as these two games make a lot of money, that's all I care about. And as long as Honkai Impact 3rd is still making more than enough to stay alive, that's all I care about. So let's move on to the fourth game, which is Genshin Impact. As you can see, Genshin Impact went up with one rank as well. Hoyoverse is actually doing very well. It's not doing great. Remember, it has actually one extra game that it is now having a cost that they need to pay for, and they still don't make as much as they were doing before releasing that game. So it's not doing actually that perfect, but they are still doing very good. They are doing more than enough actually to make up for all of the cost and also make some profit. So Genshin Impact went from 42.3 to 45.3, which means $3 million difference, which is very good. And I don't know if Mavuika, or Mawika as they call her, no, there is no way they are actually calling her Mawika when there is literally a V there. But either way, I don't know if Mawika is going to become a playable character or not, but if she become, maybe she could bring these basically charts to the sky. But if she doesn't, I don't know if there is any other character there that can actually do that. So we will see. Either way, seeing them making $3 million more is definitely a great thing. And then the last one is Honkai Star Rail. As you can see, it went from 40.3 to 67. Now, these are great numbers, and I really like to see that, because I am actually an enjoyer of the Honkai Star Rail story, and I wanted to go as far as we can. Just like Honkai Impact 3rd, I wanted to become actually a 10 years old game, at least, at bare minimum. So I am really happy that I am seeing that the number is becoming that high. However, just keep in mind that this season, or this basically update, had the highest number of basically banners we ever saw. It had 3 or 4 different banners for the characters and 4 different banners for the basically for the light cons as well. So 8 total banners aside from the normal one as well. So you can see that them making only $27 million more isn't really that crazy number. Yes, it shows that Fei Xiao was a hype character and people did spend for her, but it doesn't show any effect of the other banners, which is really concerning, but still they are doing enough from the new characters, and that's all that matters. Seeing that they are doing that much of money from the new characters is very, very good. So I am just a little bit concerned about the fact that we had 9 banners with the normal one, and we still couldn't manage to actually hit 100 million. Is just ridiculous, but it is what it is. They did make actually $27 million more, which is more than enough to make it actually crazy game. So this is really nice to see. This game is just ridiculous. Like, seriously. I will never understand how did this game come out of nowhere and appeared immediately here in the top 3, and it just never leave there. It just never leave there. Like, how? Oh my god. This is just absolutely ridiculous. Either way, I think that overall for Hoyoverse, this chart has been a very great thing to see. However, it still has some issues, which is basically the fact that they have 1 extra game and they are still not making as much money as they were before actually releasing that game, which means that they are doing a total profit that is less than the total profit that they were making before, which is, I believe, concerning for them, but they are still doing enough to keep all of the games alive, so that is good. Either way, this is my opinion about it. Let me know your opinion about it in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Impact 3rd and Honkai Star Rail. And until next time, see you as always in the next video.